Hey guys, it's Carlos from the We're Just Fans podcast, and we are here tonight being joined by the one and only Debbie the Texan. Let her know what's up, Debbie.
Hey guys, good
Hey,
to see
hey. And of course, you already know my two co hosts. First of all, we got Poppy. Let them know what's up, Poppy.
Aquí estamos, bichito, todo tranquilo.
There you go. And of course, we got the one and only who just came out on ESPN again, Rios. Let them know what's up, Rios.
All I gotta say is I hate your wallpaper, sir.
That's fine, man. That's fine. You know what? I was hoping you would hate it.
Yeah, this is for you. He did it on purpose for you, sir.
Very good.
Yeah, the World Cup, of course. So we'll get into it a little bit more as well in the World Cup. But we got Debbie on, man. I'm excited for this one. Debbie is here.
Thank you.
Voted, was it 2021's Fan of the Year? Is that correct for the Houston Texans?
Sir.
There you go.
Look at that.
There
Look at that.
you go. So Debbie. So I know that you travel a lot with this team on the away games. You have put on a bunch of miles with the team. So let me ask you this: How did your Texans fandom start? Like, were you like an Oilers fan before, or did you just start with the Texans?
Yes, I only started with the Texans. You're not going to believe this, but I went to one Oilers game only because Steve Young was playing against the Oilers. I didn't watch football, and he was concussed like the first play.
No.
But my daughter heard about our new team and whatnot, and she's obsessed with sports in general, and especially football. She's the one that brought it up. She's like, hey, we need to get season tickets in. That's how it started. Once we started traveling with the team, going to away games and meeting people, we were hooked. Hooked.
So literally from day one, like as soon as the season tickets came in, you were like, let's go get them. And
yes,
been ever since, huh? So you've been through like the car, like Dom Capers coaching, David Carr, Matt Schaub, like even the Sage Rosenfeld's play where he turned into a helicopter. Man, that was.
So how long have you been a fan for? Like when did it start?
Before it actually, before they even named the team.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
Before the name the team. That's crazy, right? I never in a million years thought it would come to this. Never. I wasn't even a football fan. It was my daughter who was, but that was like the thing that we did together. So she and I would just go places together. We'd go to the games, and then we just ended up planning trips or, our holidays. Our vacations, everything around Texan games. And ever since then, we just started meeting more people, and we just ended up, traveling and following them. So that was fun. It is fun.
Oh, that's awesome. It's got to be a great experience. I'm sure you like you've put on those miles to traveling. Is there what is your favorite place to go to that's an away game?
That's an away game. I know everybody asks me what my favorite stadium is, and NRG has my heart. I'm not even joking. It really is an amazing stadium. Let me tell you, I'm driving to Nashville. I leave tomorrow in the morning.
Right.
And I don't know what the weather, I know what to expect, but we're going to be outdoors and it's going to be in the teens. All right. So a roof always comes in handy for that kind of weather. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're good.
So
I think our buddy lost internet right now, so he'll be coming back in again. No worries. Yeah. So you're driving to Nashville, right?
yes.
So how's that? Because I know that I watched an interview with you, and I think you had you had gone to, I think, Kansas City, and then you said that you had to go through the snow. Is that correct?
Oh my goodness. Well, all right. And let me tell you why sometimes when I drive, well, I don't want to be stuck at an airport. Like that is my greatest fear. Like I already have my tickets. I'm not going to be stuck at an airport with so many delays. You know what? I'll put the chance of me making it there on me. I'm the one responsible. So if we can't make it, I can be, I can take that responsibility. But I hate, depending on somebody else to get me there. I'm like, no, if I'm going to go, I want to go, and I'll do what I have to do to get there. But that one in Kansas City was a playoff game.
Yeah.
And I couldn't miss any more days of work. So I had to drive through the night. I had to wait till I was done with school, then drive through the night. Had I driven during the day and seen all the cars on the side of the road that had slid off the road, whatnot, I probably would have turned around.
Man.
Oh wow, that's
And
gotta be scary for the first time doing that.
nah, because a few years before that, I had driven 24 hours to Cleveland, to where else? Cleveland. We went to Cincinnati, Miami, all of that. I don't know. I like driving. I like driving.
Yeah, I mean, I get you. Like driving down the road's pretty fun. Like
Yeah.
my
And it-
co-host Rios and I, we went to the Dallas game this
Uh-huh.
past week. Last it's not this past weekend, but 2
Yeah.
weekends before. And man, it was a lot of fun. It's just open road, and we're just talking about whatever comes to our mind,
Yes.
and and it's a lot of fun. It's like de-stressing in a way.
It really is. I agree.
Yeah,
It really is.
yeah. And so it's a lot of fun. So Rios,
Mhm.
you got a question for Debbie?
Um. So
He clearly not prepared for this. Look at him. No
is
professional, sir.
there a game that you have missed that you regret missing, or have you made all the games?
No, I haven't made all the games. Like this year, I have yet to get to Denver. I had tickets to the game this year, but I started a new job, and there are zero substitutes out there, at least in HISD. And I was just told you can't go. I was like, well, and not so many words. She didn't use those words, but I realized I couldn't go. I was going to leave my peers with my whole class, and I had up to 28 students. I said, there's no way I'm going to leave, my partners. And we're new, it's the beginning of the school year. They're not into routines so much. And it was a lot. So I had tickets to go to Denver, and I couldn't make it. So that's why I like to make it up during the time that I'm off, like now and Thanksgiving and whatnot. So I can drive, take my time, and get up there to support the team. But you did ask me the question about your favorite stadium, and I loved Green Bay because of the history there.
Of course,
And
yeah.
on my bucket list, I had was going to Green Bay and watching a game in the snow, and it snowed that whole game. So I was like,
Oh,
yep.
I remember that game. Yeah, it was blanket snow.
Oh, it was fun. So, and that's the disappointing part about going to Nashville. It's going to be in the teens, but
Yeah.
there's zero snow predicted.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be like that. Right after our second guest is actually our friend of our show. He's going to come in as we call him Mr. First Down. He's a Tennessee Titan fan,
Oh,
like
really?
a diehard fan, and he's going to come in, and we're just going to talk a little bit of Texans and Titans. So it's going to be fun. So we're going to go really like dive into it. But
Yeah.
definitely that's that. I think I want to do exactly kind of like what you're doing one day, not now, not anytime soon, because
So these different that's just different games. Yeah, it's on my bucket list.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's good, but man, I'm sure you got to be putting a bunch of miles on that car, baby. That's what I'm,
Yeah. I don't know if you realize, did you know my story? Like in 2015, I went to put 26,000 miles in 1 year.
Yeah, that's exactly why. I
Yeah.
was like, man, we're putting a lot of miles on that car. I did a little bit of research on that one. I was like, man, she
Yeah.
is
20. I wasn't teaching.
26.
I don't know if you heard the story of how I became Debbie the Texan or not.
No. That's actually one of my questions. I was like,
Okay.
how did Debbie the Texan come to be? Because we you started with the team, and you weren't like you told us you weren't a fan previously, and you did it because of your daughter. So how did Debbie the Texan come to be?
Yeah.
Well, my husband and I had just gotten back from Aruba. We had celebrated our 10-year anniversary.
Mhm.
He was under a lot of stress, but we took our trip. We came home. Not even a week later, he had a stroke, like right
Oh
in.
my goodness.
Oh man.
And he was in a coma for 48 hours. And I just sat by his side and I prayed, like he's got to live, And when when he woke up, he didn't know who I was.
Oh my gosh.
44 years old, best shape of his life. He looked like a model. I kid you not. Zero fat, watched every ounce of fat on him, whatnot. So
Yeah.
it was just a total shock. And for the next 2 years, although he looked normal, he acted different, and he didn't know who I was when he woke up. So the next 2 years we spent counseling, different types of counseling and whatnot, because he was in charge over a $60 million project.
Wow.
It was hard to comprehend how he still remembered how to function in his business world, but didn't know who I was. And I was his wife for 10 years. So
Wow.
That's gotta been tough.
That's gotta be tough. Yeah.
it was a heartbreaker. Yeah. And
Sorry.
believe it or not, he knew Arian Foster stats. And I was like, how do you know all that? And you don't know this person that's been in the bed with you for the last 10 years, 12 years. You know what I mean?
Go
Yeah.
figure.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's gotta be something, like something medically. Like, how is that
Right.
possible to you know your stats, you know everything you do for
I
work,
know. Like,
and then but you can't recognize a person
well,
that's been
yeah,
with you for the last like 10 years. That's crazy.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the mind, the body, like it's just crazy how that goes.
it is. They
No,
say
for real.
person has every stroke is different. You know,
Yeah,
it's different parts of your brain affects
right.
different everything. But he functioned like if you would see him, he just looks like a
Mhm.
normal man. But
Mhm.
that was like the beginning of the end for us. So,
Wow.
but so that just changed my whole outlook on life
Right.
because I just think, you know what, you do not know what tomorrow brings. You really
True.
don't. And that's my whole positive outlook on life. That's where that came from. Not because I'm just, oh, everything's fine. No,
Right.
that's what I'm about. It's because I've experienced the pain of knowing tomorrow isn't promised.
Yeah.
And that's how I live my life now. So I said every single day may not be great, but I'm gonna, pick and choose the great parts of every single day.
You got to do what's best. You got to enjoy the day. You got to take it as it goes, and you just gotta enjoy it. Like you said, you never know what's gonna happen, and
You don't,
y'all didn't expect that to happen, and then suddenly,
not in a
you
million.
know,
I
and
thought
like
we had a wonderful marriage and 10
yeah,
years. And the next thing you know, he doesn't know who I am. So the next 2 years, we went through counseling and whatnot, just didn't,
didn't work.
didn't
I'm
know.
sorry,
And
Debbie.
thank you. I appreciate that. And
No,
so, so that was that. And people say, you seem like you're married to the Texans. You know what? It was an escape. I think, now looking back that
from a
maybe,
reality.
yeah.
A
Yeah,
Yeah.
little
I see what you're
therapeutic
saying.
sounds like.
What was that?
It's a little therapeutic, it sounds like.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely it was. It was something I could look forward to. I mean, this was 7 years ago, so it's easier to talk about it now. Like
Yeah.
for years, I couldn't talk about it without, cheering up or whatnot. But yeah, and then so that to visit, to go and follow the team for 1 year was on my bucket list. And ever since that happened, I said, you know what? I'm going to start working on my bucket list because
hmm
that could happen to me, and who knows?
yeah,
So
and like you said, going on the open road. I'm sure that kind of helped you out. And like Real said, it's also very therapeutic. Like you got like for whenever I felt stressed out, I would go on the road and just my mind would clear. And I'm sure since you traveled a lot on the
uh
road, I'm sure it helped you out too as well.
it,
Clear your head, listen to music. Just
Just
be on your own or be with friends or just
right.
get your mind out of it. And I think that was very helpful. And
Yeah, during the week, I know this probably it sounds crazy, but during the week we were going to counseling, and then weekends I get to go do the football thing. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
it was, and then that's where my loyalty really
And that's
kicked.
good. That's a really good backstory, David. Like we had no idea that
Real,
that's how it started. So it's like it symbolizes what you went through and how you overcame it. So that's pretty amazing to see that. So now we have a new outlook, like a new perspective
yes,
on when we see Debbie the Texans. It's just
thank
like
you.
going through hardship, and now look at you. That's
It,
amazing, and you've accomplished so much. And obviously, my utmost respect for you teaching. That's we all
mm,
know that's a profession where it just it takes special people to do that, and like you said, there's no subs out there, but I think if everybody gave it a little shot, they would see exactly how how
right?
education is,
Yeah,
yeah, you
parents
know
during COVID times, but how quickly we forget. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
No,
They
I completely understand you. It is completely, it's got to be, it's tough, it's tough, but hey, you know what, it is very rewarding at the same time. So
absolutely 100.
nonetheless, let me ask you a couple questions here. So first of all, all right. So now you've been a Texans fan, of course, and you've since the beginning, you've seen the changes, you've seen the great times, you've seen the not so great times. Let me ask you, what do you think that how do you feel about the rebuild that that we're on right now in comparison to like the previous rebuilds that we've had before?
Well, if you would have asked me a couple of weeks ago, I would not be as highly optimistic as I am today. I mean, the Chiefs game this weekend, I think they have so much improvement.
Yeah.
Cowboys and then the Chiefs, and I just see so much improvement already that I'm really excited about it. Really excited about it.
I agree. Like, don't get me wrong. Like in this particular podcast, you know, we call out our team as well because
Sure.
you know, to me, it's like, don't get me wrong. We're all fans. You know, and that's the premise of this show. We're just fans, and so like it is. We call them out a little bit not a little bit. We call them out because I feel like even though you're a fan, like you still got to have a little bit of accountability, you know, towards your team and let them know, you know, how you feel sometimes. But and that and that's your right as a fan, of course. You know, your fandom is not really just defined on not calling them out or anything, but that's how we feel sometimes. So yeah, even though we've been kind of hard on our team, at the same time, I do agree with you on that. Like I've seen a lot of improvement from our team, like especially these past few days, how they've been using Davis Mills and Jeff Driscoll, like with the Cowboys game when I saw it, I was like, okay, and other people that we had on there, like they called it the trap game, the Cowboys trap game, and then I was like, okay, maybe it's just it was just a thing for the Cowboys, but then they tried it with the Kansas City Chiefs without Damian Pierce. And to me, I had predicted it was going to be like a complete blow up because we were already missing Damian Pierce, and and no disrespect to Davis Mills, it's just or Driscoll, it's just the fact that I personally, I'm like I don't see that as a potential future quarterback, and that's just my opinion, of course, and I think and so I'm like, okay, well, but even with that, like somehow the team was still able to keep it close.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
Yeah, I was too. I lost my voice at both of those games. You can still I'm still a little hoarse, but yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was like 100% impressed. I'm like, yeah.
You almost had him. So close.
And now, like we always say, well, if we could just hold him to the very end of the game and
finish it off.
Weekend, we held him to the end of the game, and then okay, now we have to wish for. Now we have to hold him till the end of overtime. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, exactly. So, do you have a question, Rios? I feel like I'm talking way too much over here, but sorry.
Sorry, I'm not prepared at all.
Clearly, you were late, sir. You were late. How much have you drank so far?
One.
Okay. Well, okay. In the last hour. Okay, so I'll ask you, David. No worries. So, like, basically, like, do you think that with a new quarterback, okay, and this is hypothetically speaking here, with a new quarterback, do you think that this team can be better than what it is right now? I'm not trying to put you in the spot or anything. I'm just
right. Well, yeah. I mean, we're going to get better, whether or not a new quarterback. Yeah, I know we'll be better. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's I think there are missing pieces in the team, not just the quarterback.
Understand.
Yeah. And I think with time, I feel like we had a pretty good draft this year. I was very happy with Derek Stingley, Jalen Petrie, Damian Pierce, and Ahmad Green, and Green also. Like I felt like this draft was pivotal to some of the pieces, and I think by next year, you're going to see a lot more improvement with these guys that we have now, and and if you don't, then obviously that's the business, So I think this draft was great, and I think this upcoming year's draft, I think, Nick Caserio, I think I trust in Nick Caserio. I do. I trust in Nick Caserio because I feel like, to me, my view on it is I feel like a new quarterback would be pivotal for it. And again, no disrespect to Mills, no disrespect to Driscoll. It's just like that's what my opinion is. I feel like we do need a new quarterback to help us get there. I've been very vocal about, I really would like Bryce Young on this, just because the elusiveness, his football IQ, the fact that you have John Mechie, who's coming back next year, after battling through his leukemia, and so like they were already a team in Alabama, and so I think if you do that, you have a little core of players now. You have a foundation that can take you to a better place than now, and so I think I trust Nick. I think that this would be with some upgrades, I think, around him as well. Maybe see how the free agency goes. I think the Texans will be at least in a lot better shape than they were this particular year,
Yeah.
but
Where to go but up, right?
yeah, nowhere to go but up at this point. But
Yeah.
has there been a season for you though, Debbie, since like you've seen it all since the beginning? Has there been a season where it was just kind of like really hard to show up to a game? Because even though, like, don't get me wrong, I know you're super optimistic and you're always there, but I'm just saying there's got to be a time where sometimes you're like, oh, it's you were preparing for it more than usual.
No, no.
Oh.
You know what? I enjoy the camaraderie
Mhm.
of seeing people that we only get together that live out of state or out of, town. Because I
Mhm.
didn't live in Houston when I was doing that. I was
Mhm.
living in Corpus. So it was an extra
Wow.
move back to Houston this August. I don't know if y'all know that, but I would get
Yeah.
up 3 or 4 in the morning and drive to the game by myself and drive back. And I do that like every
So,
Sunday.
so you're one of the locals now, huh, Debbie? How does it feel?
Yay. Thank you,
You like the
Lord.
traffic?
So it's a lot nicer, but
Yeah.
no, I love being there.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be going, even with the record that they have, you could
Right.
see I'm still going to the games. Like,
Mhm.
no, I'm going to be a fan all the time. And there's nothing that disappoints me. You know what? And I think it's because I see all the other people being so negative, but I always
Mhm.
want to ask, and I don't want to be rude, but
Right.
I've never played football and
Mhm.
I've never been a coach and I've never been in their shoes. So I don't feel like I can criticize them as much as maybe coaches or people that have played before. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I understand. It's like almost like since you haven't been in those particular shoes, like you're not sure exactly how to, like, not saying not seeing the perspective, but like trying, like
Right.
you're trying to figure out, okay, why do they see it this particular way,
Right.
right?
Absolutely. I've never played before. So,
Mhm.
yeah, it's kind of hard for me because I guess because I hear so many people that have never played before try
Mhm.
to, eh, I don't know. It's harder than it looks, I'm sure, you
Oh
know.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, no, definitely. Rios, what do you think, man?
Now I have a question. So, what would you say would be your favorite experience on the road watching one of the games?
It's a good one.
Favorite experience. Oh, there's just been so many. Well, like, I don't know. It's crazy, but I'll end up at stadiums or I'll be walking down the street and then my team will be like, "Hey, there's Debbie." And I'm like, "Hey guys," that kind of thing. It's kind of cool. They'll invite me to their charity events now because I'm more on social media,
Mhm.
excuse me, that I promote them more. I help
Mhm.
out because I'm all about, you know, paying it forward kind of.
Right.
And so I like that. So, but like on the road, like I see their families. Sometimes that's all that goes. Sometimes the fans
Mhm.
do give up on them. And that's what I want to show the team that I'm all about the team, not a single
Yeah.
person. And people ask me, who's your favorite player? Even when JJ was here. And I was like, is it JJ? And I said, nope, I don't have a player
Whole
favorite.
team.
I'm all about the team.
Yeah.
So, oh God, no. No. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, basically the whole team. Like you're a big
The
fan of
whole,
just the team in general. Yeah.
I'm
Did
all about,
let me ask you this. So, uh, what do you think? Like you said that some people have given up on on their team or whatnot. What do you think our organization? And I'm saying our because again we're all fans of our
sure.
team. What do you think our organization, besides wins, obviously, like that's the thing. Wins drive people in.
That'd be
So,
easy.
easy,
Right.
easy answer, right? But like, besides wins, is there something that you feel like the organization can do a little more to get more people in, or do you think or what do you think?
Well, I hear that a lot, but I
Mm.
think I've seen them this year try to reach out more to fans and do things with fans and whatnot to include them. I've seen that a whole lot more. I don't know if it's just because I'm always there doing things or always.
No, I would agree. I think the last couple of years they maybe alienated some of the fans a little bit, and they're trying to win the back. And I see them making an effort, and it's appreciated that they're making that effort to try to bring fans back.
I agree.
Yeah, like they had I think at one of the training camps, like they had excuse me, I said about Cal McNair, like cooking burgers for like the fans. I thought that was cool. I really thought that was cool. Like they had that, and I feel like okay, it's a start. It's a good start. Having that fan interaction. I think that having that fan interaction, even if you're down on your wins or whatnot, I think having fan interaction is definitely going to help you, put some fans back in. And honestly, I think after these two like really close games, I think, for the last home game, I think it's against Jacksonville, if I'm not mistaken. I think the stadium might be a little bit better.
I hope so.
Just because last game of the season, I think it's on New Year's Day, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So I think people is it New Year's Day?
Yeah,
New Year's Day. Yeah, and so I think I think we'll have some more people in than normal, because I mean it is apparent that it is kind of sad. Like I remember going to some of those the stadium, and it was just like jam packed, and you could barely get a seat. And now I know it's because of the wins. Like a lot of it's because of the wins. That drives people in. Like because I remember when I used to go to Astros games before the Astros were winning, like you could get a seat there for like $5. And you know what I mean? And it was it was empty as well. But now we start winning, and suddenly you got the whole stadium packed in, So I get that it's the win thing, but I feel like fan interaction definitely is a big plus for the Texans. One thing that I was like adamant that I didn't like was that year that I think they only allowed season ticket holders to go to training camp. I was like, oh man, what about the little guy? Stuff like that. But we all learn from mistakes.
Yeah. I like to trade the number 4 jersey in day.
I like that. I honestly did. I thought that was cool, because I think Rios, you got something out of that deal as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I traded it in for a Stingley jersey.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
And what's funny is like I was trying to trade mine in too, and then I couldn't find it. And then I realized I really couldn't, like I wish I was like kidding, but I really couldn't find it. And then I realized I had accidentally thrown it away. This is
you did.
I had accidentally thrown it away along with DeAndre Hopkins jersey that I had, and I was like, no, I was upset, not at the number 4 jersey, but at the Hopkins one.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, I was like, well, no, but I wish I would have had the 4 jersey so that I could have traded it in, honestly. And so I didn't, I just didn't. I didn't have it, but so I missed out on the deal. But you know what? I'm hoping for a whoever we get this year, and if it's my pick, Bryce, then believe me, that's the first jersey I'm going to get. If it does come to that, of course. But yeah, going back to the fan interaction, I love that. I got to tell you, I think you posted it on Twitter as well, and about the like what can the organization do or something like that. something along those lines.
Yeah.
And so I had I was the one I had commented back. Well, because I said it because I had just experienced the Cowboys game after, and every time I've been to like probably 4 Cowboys games, and not because I like them, but it's because it's always a tradition of mine to go whenever the Cowboys play the Texans.
Okay.
I like that in-state rivalry because it's like I feel like it's like a family reunion, like when you have that distant uncle that comes in with the Cowboys jersey, and you're like, oh, why? Who invited this guy? And so I did like the fan interaction that they had at the end. And when I posted that, I was speaking in the terms of like when like the game ends, I don't recall like having a thing like afterwards. I mean, then again, I haven't been in like a year, so I can't really say if anything has changed since then. It's almost like the game ends and like, all right, y'all go to like the tailgate kind of a thing or whatnot. And over there where they had the I think it's almost like we have the Bud Light Plaza, and I think over there they call it the Miller Lite House or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
They still had like things going on after the game, And so that to me, I was like, man, I wish we could do like something like this and just keep the fans hanging out for all. Now I know our crowds are a little different than the Dallas crowds or whatnot. It's weird how it's just 4 hours away and it changes. But I was like, I think something like that was just my opinion. I was like, something like that could probably, work. But that's just me. That's just my little opinion.
That's a good idea. Some people, we are kind of rushed out because they have events on the field immediately after, like those extra events that they do. But people do go back to their tailgates and hang out. But maybe it's because we are not winning. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever it is, it's just like that's the only thing that I took from there. I was like, wow, I really had to. And then they had like just different places to go to afterwards, and that was the only thing I took from it. I was like, wow, I would love to see that, like there, and just another part of that. But nonetheless, that was one of the experience. And Brios, what do you think about, buddy?
No, I think the difference is like around Energy, there's not a lot of stuff to do versus like in Arlington. Like they have all these things you can do. Like there's that what was the place called we went to? It was
Texas Live.
Texas Live. They had that. They had these other places that like local bars or whatever. They have a lot of stuff you can like walk to just by the stadium. Make it like a big event. And there's not a whole lot. Like at the hotel, and then down it's Medical Center.
Yeah,
exactly. But no, nonetheless, that's what I'm saying. But now, Debbie, where can we find you? Where can our fans find you so they can check out exactly what you're doing?
Twitter, mostly Twitter. I'm on Instagram as well, but mainly Twitter.
Can you give us your Twitter handle just so that we can let our fans?
Just Debbie the Texan.
Debbie the Texan.
Yeah.
Yeah. She brings a positive vibe. Debbie, if I should be there at the Jaguars game. And when I go, I hope to see you there and say hi to you, take a picture with you, all that.
Okay.
And thank you so much for coming on the show. And I gotta say, thank you so much for being so flexible. We were supposed to record yesterday. You were very flexible with some things that came up, and you were just really helpful with that. Like, thank you so much. Seriously. No problem. Anytime. You are more than welcome to come into the show anytime, and we'll talk Texans, and we'll communicate with you through the season, and maybe even before the draft, and see what some predictions could be, and come join us anytime you want. But Debbie, we appreciate you, seriously.
Thank you also for sharing your story. Also, like, we really appreciate that. Like, it's a different outlook on life, and I definitely appreciate stuff like that. So
thank you. Yeah, it's for free. It's not like that.
No, you're good, Debbie. Don't worry about it.
I worked in the evenings teaching GED, summer school.
Oh my God, yeah. I understand you. We, after school programs, it's they're vital. They're vital for kids. They're very important. So, I completely understand you. It's teaching is a little complicated. It is, but we are where we are for a reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Debbie. Thank you again for coming. You are amazing. I appreciate you.
Y'all take care. Thank you.
Bye, Debbie. All right. Big shout out to Debbie again for coming in on the show, and just, man, she's such a great positive person, and I love that.
That was really
good.
Man, like I felt it right here.
Yeah, I felt that. I was like, wow, that's got to be one of our our better interviews. That was great. All right.
Our grew 2 sizes.
Yeah, exactly. What are you, the Grinch, sir? What's wrong with you? All right, man. So before we have our next guest, I'm excited for our next guest. The dude is amazing. Follow us on Twitter, y'all. Y'all know the Twitter handle, @JustFans22. And of course, if you're in that tickety talk, I probably lost cool points for saying that. Shut up. Follow us on TikTok @JustFans2022. Coming in. It's, by the way, before anything, I always love introducing him based on his Twitter. Based on his description on his Twitter. By the way, the man who screams his head off for his Titans from 313, the one, the only, Mr. First Down. How you doing, bud?
Gentlemen, it's 343. Wow.
Did I miss that?
Yeah,
hold on. It is 3
The
4.
level of disrespect.
yeah. I know it's rivalry week, but come on.
Maybe it was on
Come on.
purpose. Maybe
A little
it was
class.
on purpose.
Little class is all I asked for.
I have no idea what class is, sir. I'm classless.
Oh
Class?
boy,
What is that?
how we doing, boys?
We're doing good. By the way, just to let y'all know, Poppy didn't just leave because he was upset. It's because he has really bad internet. so, so he's just kind of like, oops.
I think his neighbors.
Really bad internet, right?
Yeah. No, I think his neighbors are stealing his internet, and that's why he just. so, with StreamYard, you got to use that.
That's what happens when your password is 1234.
Yeah. Right now, at this moment, everybody's like, hold on, one. Yeah, we have to roast him a little bit, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. My team is horrible, but I'm doing just fine.
You preaching to the crowd, buddy.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware of what it is. I don't know if y'all saw the news today, but we have lost our Tannehill. He goes down.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's it. So enter one Malik Willis, who I hope shows me something on Sunday. He needs to prove me wrong. Okay. I don't have a high feeling on this kid. If he goes out there and lights it up, that's one thing, I guess. But I'm really not. The morale is especially low here in Tennessee. The injuries, they just keep piling up. And I don't know if y'all saw, but I don't know if I've talked to y'all since then, but we fired our GM, right?
Yes, I heard about that. Y'all let go of them. Yeah.
And at first we all went, but why? And then you're like, 3 bad drafts. You're paying people to be in different jerseys. It is a culmination. And now you see the effects of what he's done. Mm-hmm. And now the team is paying for it. And this is where we are. So it stinks because I don't like talking about off season while there's a season going on, but that's exactly what's happening down here.
Welcome to the club. We've been doing this since
welcome to the club, brother.
Yeah,
it sounds like the AFC South kind of a thing,
Yeah, I guess. Boy, we're all bad, aren't we? God, except the Jags all of a sudden have flipped the switch. Go figure.
Trevor Lawrence
crazy.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence just flipped it, man. It's crazy.
Man,
he doesn't look like himself at all.
He was supposed to be. Sorry about that. Yeah, he's playing like the quarterback he was set out to be now. Suddenly it's happening.
10 more years. Oh man.
I don't want to have an Andrew Luck thing. Remember when we had Andrew Luck and nobody could
nope.
He was the guy to beat.
I never beat him. The Titans never beat him. Not one.
We came close. We had games where we beat him but not in the playoffs, and then T.Y. Hilton would own us.
Yeah. It's always that late out route with T.Y. Hilton. It's he's wide open in the end zone. That's cool.
Wow, never saw that coming.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I just thought after last game or the year before that, we would have picked up on that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's not like they went on for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, no, tell me about it. It's going to be an interesting matchup. I don't know if y'all have heard. It's going to be 5 degrees outside.
I heard.
Negative degree wind chill. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking to our first guest was Debbie, who's a huge Texans fan. She's going to be out there, and she was telling us about how bad the weather was going to be over there. Man.
Oh yeah, it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
Go get a little chapped out there. A little chapped.
Yeah, bro. Let me tell you, here,
Derrick Henry game.
Yeah, the Derrick Henry game
again. Oh, really? It's wow,
yeah. Bro. I'm telling you right now, this, even here, bro. So if I'm not mistaken, I think tomorrow, the day after, is supposed to get down to 20, below freezing in Houston, which is not really
unheard of, right?
Yeah. We're used to our 70s Christmases, we're used to 75. I'm used to wearing a t-shirt outside and shorts on Christmas Day, and it's going to be
the wind chill is going to be around 0. It's going to be 18 degrees, but the wind chill is going to be around 0 degrees.
Oh man, yeah, that doesn't sound fun at all. You guys did you guys have that blizzard however long ago? I love somebody took a picture of the Walmart there, and there was all the unsweet tea was still there, but the sweet tea was all gone.
We know what we're about. Like,
Yeah, it's
might be
like we're
freezing.
desperate. We're just not drinking unsweet tea.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
Not
we're
that
desperate. Yeah,
No,
exactly. We're
that's the way it's like down here. It's cold weather coming. Went to Walmart today. They've
y'all got
bought all the
whiskey.
milk and eggs. It's gone. It's gone. You know.
First thing that left was that Tennessee Jack Daniels whiskey, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, no, it's gone. Luckily, I have a buttload of it in my closet. So,
And I wouldn't doubt you. I wouldn't doubt it.
no, it makes your tears taste less bitter.
Exactly. Oh man, yeah, exactly, dude. It's a mess, man. Like, all right, so let's do a little bit of a predictions. I think it's gonna be a Derrick Henry run game the entire time, which I'm okay because I have him on fantasy, so I'm cool with that.
Well, I think it's going to end on a field goal. I don't know which team's going to win. I think it's going to end on a field goal somewhere. Is Pierce playing or is he still out?
No, Pierce is done for the season.
Oh goodness, gee whiz! All right, well, whatever. Let's just see. Can we just watch it together and group hug until it's over?
Yeah, you bring the Jack Daniels. We'll bring the tequila over here or something.
Oh goodness gracious! Yeah, no, I'm down all the way. Yeah, it's this is definitely a Derrick Henry game. Go figure. Something we always constantly look for. It's gonna be rough though, folks. All of our offensive linemen were on the injury report.
Oh,
Every last one of them. They put one on IR today, and Ben Jones has a concussion, and so Tua Tagovailoa, after that whole incident, you're just not going to play that week. That's just the end of it. So now you're starting. You're only veteran on the center pretty much, and now you're going to we just signed like some guys off the street to fill in there. And here comes Malik Willis. God bless you, kid. God bless you.
The last time, I think the last time we played against Malik Willis, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
I think 0 passes in the second half. 0 passes. He didn't throw the ball once in the second half.
He threw it. You guys intercepted him, and then they were like, Mike Vrabel, they like showed him on the sidelines. He's like, we're not passing it anymore.
Who told you to pass? Who told you to pass? What did we say about feeling brave, sir?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't think. Just hand the ball to Derrick Henry.
Just do as you're told. In fact, just let Derrick tell you where to go. And then we'll be fine from there. That'd be funny if like Derrick's just like behind him going, "Hey, bro," to the left, and he's like, "Oh, okay, cool." But yeah, it's morale is pretty bad here right now. Tannehill going down, it's really bad for us. He's been very productive for us. Very. If you look at his stats overall and everything like that, and it was such a great surprise because it came out of nowhere. You picked him up from Miami to back up Marcus Mariota, and then he got the reins to it and he didn't let go. And with the uncertain future coming up, I mean, you're looking more than likely a totally different Titans team next year.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, there was like rumors going around that Vrabel might take a job over there at Ohio State. What do you think about that? Is that true, or is that just something that we just kind of like read out of?
You can't get out of contract in the NFL very easily. Mm-hmm. You just can't do it. And I don't know. We don't know all the inner workings. We know that Amy Adams Strunk, the owner, had already kind of made up her mind to fire J-Rob. And after watching, A.J. Brown run all over you, she fired him right after the Philadelphia game.
I mean,
if Schefter, she's like, I screw this, I'm out. So go away, notifications. I'm talking anyway.
Hey, at least your internet isn't slowing down. Look at me. I look like a AOL aim thing right here. Like
it's like my wife, like, I love you, and I'm like, go away, shut up. Anyway, so
good luck with you when you leave this podcast today.
Yeah, she's just gonna come in here. You're just gonna see a frying pan or something just lay into me. Anyway, but yeah, it's an interesting position to be in. We kind of knew this kind of thing was coming, but the sudden change in mid-season and just watching us drop game after game and it stinks, as you guys well know, losing it because your roster's so bad they can't maintain anything. And so I know Vrabel's at his wit's end. You can see it in his face. He's just had enough because it ends up being like one big mistake here, another one here, fumbles, interception. Like it's just a mess. It's just an absolute mess. And so if Adam Schefter is to be believed, it's Mike Vrabel will hold significant power into it. But he is also helping pick the GM because I think he's smart enough to look at what happened with Bill O'Brien, not to rub salt in the wound.
No.
And said, I don't think I need to be GM. So hopefully that is the case. But I mean, guys, isn't the NFL absolutely crazy? I mean, we're looking at a Jags team. A Jags team is about to come and take this division, just pull the rug out from under us. Unbelievable, unfreaking believable.
I mean,
But
all this, 2 months ago, like the Jaguars, they look dead in the water. Now look.
Oh yeah, no sign of them, nowhere to be found. And all of a sudden, it was like, well, I'm Doug Peterson, so I guess it's time to win now. Boop a doop a doop doop doop.
Right.
That's how it is. But when you're talking about this matchup this weekend, I'm gonna absolutely assume they're gonna try to make it a Derrick Henry game, and if they can't, they're gonna have to try to use Malik Willis's legs. I would assume, because I don't think I want that kid throwing the ball very much.
No.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see what they do against the Cowboys the week after that.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, y'all. I have to switch my camera angle, so it's not my internet. It's actually just the.
I thought it was part of your music video.
It is. I'm just kind of like vibing it out. Welcome to Cribs. The Pikachu back here.
I was like, is that Pikachu, bro?
That is a Pikachu. I'm a huge Pokemon dork. I never grew up from the 90s, so I'm a huge Pikachu.
Dude, on the other side of the room is a long line of Dungeons and Dragons books. You have nothing to prove to me. It's okay.
No, honestly, no. You know what it is? Let me tell you this. Let me show you what it is. It's. I'm stupid. I'm gonna stand up. I am wearing pants.
Show us.
I don't want to be canceled.
These are colorful. These are books. Everything you need to ace the math in one big fat notebook. There's a math. There's like all the subjects back here. Like, yeah, exactly.
You became a teacher.
Huh?
Just how you became a teacher, reading all these books.
That's how I do it. Just reading all these books that I got on Amazon. No, dude, they're actually really good. If you ever have a middle school,
really?
This is really good, and it's really easy. That gets down. I need to get like paid for promoting this. By the way, no, I'm not.
You should send it to me. I'll use it to teach the twin girls when they're ready.
Yeah, bro. No, it's a really helpful book. Like,
I bet
it's really good. Like, I promise you, it's a really good book. No, but nonetheless, sorry, we got off track over there. But
I know it's okay.
Astro stuff. Wait,
ADD in full effect.
Yeah, there you go. I got my Astro stuff over here. What?
World champs.
World champs, baby. World champs. I know that. Dude, we were talking like back and forth when all that was happening. Remember that? Like you were.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was like, kill him, kill them.
Yeah, he was all the way from Tennessee. We had like the guy who was like, "Oh, I just don't want to see the Yankees or the Phillies go."
Oh yeah, no.
All in. Yeah, that was so cool. He was very supportive. So Mr. First Down, he was very supportive.
Thanks. I do what I can. I do what I can when I can.
No, it was cool. Sorry. Apparently, I'm giving the tour of my office over here.
How's your bathroom? Can we see it?
It's actually clean. So it's very clean, and I credit my girlfriend for that because I am a terrible person. Yeah.
Yelling about your toenail clippings in the background.
Why is there used toilet paper on the floor? No, no, that would never fly. No, we have 3 dogs too, so they.
I mean, why isn't there toilet paper on the ground?
Yeah.
Come on,
I mean, right? Like, why would you not? Oh, I don't like the camera on my computer. Yeah, right.
I'm sorry, boys. I steered the ship.
You're good. I love this. Is like the best chatter sometimes because it's like you focus so much on like the teams and stuff like that, which is fine because that's your whole purpose. But sometimes you just gotta keep it as personal.
Oh, sure.
Know,
yeah. I would expect getting back to the game. I would expect.
No. Okay.
Okay. All right.
No, go ahead.
All right. Well, Raichu's better. I'm out. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
How
dare you? How dare you?
This is the line right here.
That's he's banned from now on.
No. Yeah, that's fine. I'm Mr. Second down with a fake mustache.
Right.
So the I would expect if they're gonna do this, there is totally going to be some RPO going on, some Lamar Jackson RPO. I expect there's going to be the fake toss, which Vince Young and CJ crafted to perfection a long time ago. I imagine you're going to see a lot of those things. But if you're talking any kind of receiving threat, Burks might be playing, but I think Chigakonkwo, the tight end, is really starting to come along.
Yeah.
So I really think he's going to be like like Enrique Iglesias, let me be your hero, baby. Like, hey, little fella, do you want to play catch? You know, hey, look, man, I'm in a 3-yard out, man. Throw the ball to me.
You gotta sing again. I can be your hero, baby.
No, no, it's a beautiful song. Doesn't get enough
credit. Away your pain.
Somebody's tuning in right now. They just see us singing and they're like, nope. What if we never leave? We're just like, the stream's going on for like 8 hours.
8 hours long, like, wow.
The Jets guy gets on, he's like, But yeah, I have a question for y'all.
No.
What number, since we're both like already looking at the off season, bitterly drinking, we all need like cigars and like, oh God. What is the number one need the Texans in the draft? What is their need?
Bryce Young.
Quarterback?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the reason why we're saying this is because we have had like different perspectives on this, and a lot of people say, hey, trade down so that you can get like a defensive player or something, or get a defensive player or something along the lines, because we do need like a defensive end, but I don't think, given the history of this team, I don't think we need one as desperately. I mean, we need one, but I think your priority is set on quarterback. I don't know if for
ancient history, Titans.
Yeah, exactly.
It's young. No, let's go with Mario Williams. What could possibly go wrong?
They draft a kicker. You're like, why?
Why? No, and that's the thing though. Like, we talked about it on our Twitter Spaces, by the way. Those Twitter Spaces, we were talking about it this past weekend. They got pretty good over there with WagerWire, and it was really cool because we have like different perspectives. Like sometimes it's like a divided house, and we were some fans think, oh no, you should definitely go with a defensive end. Some people think like they'll say like Will Anderson or they'll say, just different. Yeah. And so it's like, I think go for the quarterback, just because we have gone through defensive end before when there was a quarterback available.
Right.
There you go with Vince Young and and coincidentally, Vince Young, Bryce Young, like it's the young, you know what I mean? Number 10, number 9.
Connection, but
you know that means because aliens. Yeah, that's yeah. And so it's like it would just be like a thing where right now you can get a defensive end, but honestly, how often are we just gonna keep waiting for like Caleb Williams? Are we gonna wait for Arch Manning? Like. Right. That's the thing though. Like, is this team going to go through this again?
Yeah.
And again and just wait? We've been through that before. We can't afford to do that anymore. If you're trying to get wins, if you're trying to get people back in the stadium, you need to do something drastic, like draft the quarterback. And if that's develop them. Like, we don't expect this guy to come out. I don't, at least, to be like and I'll compare, and I hate comparing using Deshaun Watson in this.
Sure.
Watson came in balling out. Straight from Cleveland, But with Bryce, I don't see that. But there's development. I don't see him. I don't compare him to like Malik Willis, where Malik hasn't had that that he's had some start. He started some games, but you haven't really seen much out of him. Like you saw him at Liberty, and he was he did fine there. But one of the things that Rios and I were talking about, if we like one of our earlier podcasts, we were talking about what if like the Texans had drafted like Willis, thank you, for the Texans. And like one of the things that he said, and it resonated with me, is like, well, he was in Liberty, so he didn't really have as much competition. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no.
And he didn't have all this big competition, so
it's true.
That, and he's struggling, and now it's like really it shows, like, you know what I mean, like it shows. The NFL is completely different from college.
Malik Willis came from an offense where they told him who to throw to, and if it wasn't open, he'd run. And one of the Vrabel's big things, you could see it in the off season, or preseason, he would say, do not run, make the decision, throw the ball, and he looked so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The Chiefs game, he looked better, but there's still this indecision where you can kind of see he's like, that guy only has 2 feet of separation. You want to be like, buddy, that's open in the NFL. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's as open as they're going to get. It's not going to get any better, unless you trick somebody.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be interesting. I would like to see Malik Willis. Not now. I don't want to see him right now. I want to see Tannehill now. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
But I want to see Malik Willis with a full off season with our quarterback coach, Pat O'Hara, breathing down his neck. Like, that's what I want. He's, I love the kid. He's great, positive attitude, but attitude only gets you so far. You're talking to the guy that had Marcus Mariota for however long he had him. Great guy, fantastic guy. And by the way, look at the Atlanta Falcons in him. Yeah. What a mess that is. Goodness gracious. So, but on my list here, I had you taking a quarterback as well, and I had Bryce Young on that list. So that's good for you. That's good. Good for you. We're on the same.
Right. Good for us. Yeah. No.
We are taking an offensive lineman. I don't give a crap who it is.
NFL,
just somebody.
Hire us. We know what's best.
Right. Anybody. Somebody. Some 300-pound giant that's just going to stand in the way of somebody that doesn't let them right through. Yeah. But it's people are like, how a lot of fans are, what we need a name or whatnot. I'm like, I don't want a name. I want a corn-fed 310-pound guy, working class. He needs this. He loves this, and it's what he wants. Like, that's what I want.
He lives.
I want a blue collar. That's what I want.
So I want somebody that drives his big rig back after practice back home. Like, that's what I need. Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
well, my dad's Ranger, You're like, yes, it is. Yeah. You can stay with me, bro.
Yeah, right.
You don't have to go all the way back there.
Man, I'm telling you, it's one of those things where, dude, like, I was gonna ask you, like, dude, like, yeah, like, let's go back to what you said. You have like no O-line coming in this game. How, like,
bro? Zero.
Like, are y'all just gonna let, like, it's just Malik Willis and like a running back? That's it, Derrick Henry. Like, I'm just like, wow, dude. So it's gonna be the Derrick Henry game. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I have him in fantasy, and I'm hoping he balls out because I need to win. I actually made the playoffs, surprisingly.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I never win at fantasy. I lose heartbreakingly by like a percentage, and it's because he caught it one-handed, and so we gave him like the extra point pin. You're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I lost by 3 points. I was like, because it's a kicker. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, of course it is. He won't make this.
It's he won't make it. Make it.
But it's going to be an interesting. This has to be one of the biggest off seasons we're going to have. This has got to be a monumental one for y'all because this is like
make or break
the foundation of whatever you're going to do. Yeah. And that's interesting. Me, they're just like cutting through all the red tape, and they're just going to put cement over something and try to keep going, But it's always interesting. The off-season talk or whatever. You got to watch yourself though, because the speculation just gets out of control. Like, you don't have to go very far. Just scroll through Twitter. You'll find everything you need to see there. Yeah. The dregs of humanity, and go through there. But it's I'm looking at this game, and I still. It's so surprising to me your quarterback, who I actually liked a great deal. He put up a fight against us in 2021, and I really liked him. But like going back and looking at the games and stuff, I did homework for you guys.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I actually went back and looked at it on my NFL Plus and stuff like that.
You can afford that?
No, it's a season ticket member thing.
Oh! Excuse me, Mr. Season ticket holder.
343, not 314. Anyway, so you look at it, and it's I'm just looking at him throw these balls around, and the like gutsy throws he used to have are just not there. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of mind-boggling because I thought like, wow, the Texans might have lucked into somebody like this guy could, and then today he just doesn't look the same. I don't know what happened.
It was regression, man. Like it was regression, and it's funny because Rios called it too.
Did he?
Real called it. Yeah, he did. He was
Rios,
like,
you cursed your team, bro.
yeah, right. Blame him. No, he called it too because like we have been adamant about it since we started our podcast. I don't know if you're familiar, but we started our podcast back in March of this year. Just audio, right? And we just kind of said things that came through our mind, just like now. Nothing's really changed. So the thing about it though is like he called it perfectly when he said Davis Mills is not the answer, and we kind of Poppy and I were a little more optimistic regarding Davis Mills. Like,
sure,
well, you know, but the thing that we agreed with Rios is the fact that a lot of those numbers that Davis Mills put up was during garbage time, like, and so that's why the stats it was like the numbers were skewed, like they were just like they didn't really define exactly like a pivotal moment. It was all like trash time, like. And in this particular season, it was very apparent because, like, throughout the first half of the games, in a lot of those games, he was getting less than 100 yards during the first half. Maybe like he was getting like really bad, like maybe like 40 something, 30 something in some games, yards in the first half alone. And then second half came in, we would be losing, and then he would just make up. Not make up, but he would like throw, and then that's where a lot of his numbers came in during garbage time. So it didn't really seem like we didn't see him as elite. I was just optimistic that hey, maybe we had a bad first year, maybe we're gonna step it up the second year, not be as good, but still be better. But it turned out it was a huge regression. It was even worse than the first year.
Yeah,
in crunch time, like he's had multiple chances to win multiple games, and
hasn't happened.
He throws an interception, fumbles it. It's like, what are you doing, man?
It's like no matter what you do, it's just going to get screwed over at the end, kind of feeling. And it's one that a lot of fans have gone through. Really, when you look at it. Okay, the next popular question I found in my searching.
You're interviewing us today.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the Tighten Up podcast.
The Titans fans podcast now.
Yeah. Come on, boys. The water's fine. In fact, no, it's not. It's cold. It's bitter and it's cold. We have liquor. Anyway, so the second most popular question is: does Lovie Smith survive the season?
No,
absolutely not.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does.
I think the Texans clean house. Rios, what's your take on that, bud?
I've been saying all year they're going to clean house. I think I want to say probably by the bye week. Like, there's no way the staff remains. They're all getting fired.
I'm going this route here. Okay, everybody in the two-tone blue is gone except for Jeffrey Simmons, Kevin Byard, and Christian Fulton. I think the whole thing is getting cut. I really feel it. Those are the three big names I think are going to remain. I think they're all going. I just feel it that everybody's getting paid too much money to suck, so they've got to go. And it's starting to sound from the indications we're getting down here that Amy's like, I've had enough of this. People have got to roll. People got to go. Vrabel, you can stay.
You know what I would like from Amy?
You're going to stay.
Yeah, you're fine.
You know what
I saw what you did. I like your work, sir.
Do you know what I would like from Amy?
What?
For her to give us an Oilers name.
Oh, bro,
we can do a retro thing.
Bro, I just bought some sweet merch. I just bought the sweet merch. Okay, I can't do that.
Like, it'd be funny, like one day, like all of us show up wearing like at a podcast, just like all of us wearing like Oilers gear.
We have to do that. Oh, sweet! Welcome aboard, guys. Happy to have you.
I don't remember Warren Moon scoring touchdowns over there at Nissan Stadium, sir. What?
No, he is there every now and then. I don't know if y'all saw, but they started this whole campaign this year, and it's not gone great. They had 3-6 Mafia release a song.
Stop it.
Oh, no, I'm not. No,
right,
you're going to listen to this. You're going to like it. Yes. It's a song called "Who Run It." Okay, and every time they say like "Who Run It," and everybody get in the crowd, "We run it." But when you're really having a bad season, it's hard to say "We run it." And all I do is because I'm a football insane person. They're like, who run it? I'm like, we do about 35 to 40 times a game. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative. But yeah, but yeah, so they keep saying who run it, and you can just see people in the crowd like, we run it.
We're the guys.
We run it.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you. So when you just said right now about we run it, and we're running into almost like a similar situation with Dameon Pierce because he's injured now and he's done for the season. Do you feel like do you feel like
what happened to him? By the way, I couldn't find it.
It was a high ankle sprain, but then I think it got either worse.
That's what happened to Tannehill. That's exactly what happened to Tannehill.
High ankle sprain, and so it happened during the Cowboys game. And honestly, I'm a big believer in the fact that if he would have stayed out because we were wondering like, why is Rex Burkhead out there again? And then we realized, well, he was getting hurt. And so towards the end, when the Texans could have sealed it, it didn't happen. He wasn't out there anymore. But what I was going to ask you is, we already saw an injury, and we've been big proponents of the fact that, hey, they need somebody to back up Dameon Pierce because he's getting hurt. And look at it. He's already the first rookie season. And then he already got hurt. Now, is it a serious injury? Like like sidelined completely? No, but I know they put him in the IR because, it's the end of the season, might as well have him recover, start fresh for next year. I get it. Like I think that was a great call. Same thing for Derek Stingley, our corner.
Sure.
My question is for you, since Derrick Henry has been playing for a little while, do you think that since they're running him, how long do you see Derrick Henry being with the Titans at this rate? How much they're using him? Wear and tear right there. That's what I'm saying.
Look at you. You're throwing the question at me. I'm like, whoa. Right. This wasn't in the list that Rios gave me. No.
Okay, Rios can barely read and write. Okay, so there's that. I'm kidding.
Rios, you do a picture of a chicken, I think, on one of these. Anyway, no, that's a bulldozer. My bad.
The fact that he thinks you have like those motor skills where you can draw well, but
do you like me? Check this box. Okay.
Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah, there's a maybe. Thank God. Here we go. All right. Perhaps. So unpopular. This is my opinion because you have to understand that sometimes when Derrick Henry runs, everybody goes because the Alabama fans are all here. It's like roll Titans, roll Titans, roll. I hate it so much. Anyway, but they're all here. So I happen to love Derrick Henry a great deal and a great. I have a lot of admiration for Derrick Henry. I don't think there isn't anybody in the league that doesn't see that man and think, "Good night." Like what a horse. But I think they're cutting him at the end of this year.
Wow.
That is that's my dark horse. I think they're going to cut him at the end of this year. I think it's over.
No way. You think they're going to, as a Titans fan, you think they're going to cut Derrick Henry?
Look, wait. That's my dark horse. Let me be clear. That's my that's my dark horse. Yeah. Don't worry. I'm going to get plenty of hate mail. Anyway,
how much of the Jack Daniels have you had today, sir?
I don't want to talk about it. Okay?
You don't tell me what to do, Mom.
Well, Pierce is on IR. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway.
Throws up on camera.
I'm curious. What do you think?
Just covers up half the lens.
Right.
So that's my dark horse. But in actuality, I think he probably has 1 to 2. But my guess would probably be 1. The Titans have been very good about getting rid of players before they go to seed. Pretty much. There's a few exceptions to that. Derek Mason was one of them.
Okay.
I can't remember one off the top of my head. But if you remember, like, they cut CJ2K, and everybody's like, what a big mistake that was. And then he didn't really do anything yet or anything like that. So they've always been pretty good with that through ownership and everything else. They've managed to drop players before they go to seed. So I feel like if you're going to – now, the more logical side of me thinks that you keep him around and Malik Willis has somebody that can gain him 1 yard on a 31 play if he has to or whatnot. But the way they run him, guys, there's just no scientific way he's going to last like too much longer. I just don't see it. I'm not saying the guy is not amazing or anything, but you can't get the ball handed to you 40 times a game and everything's just going to be all hunky dory. Like that's just not true. I don't care who you are. Yeah, look, I got to sit in the seats and watch the great Eddie George run, and then as the years went on, you could see it. You could see the wear and tear on him.
Let me ask you this though: if you went to, you've seen Eddie, like you saw Eddie George there. How long what year did you start actually becoming a season ticket holder for the Titans?
I became a season ticket holder in 2013.
Okay.
So I always wanted season tickets, and my wife bought them for me as an anniversary present.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was great. I cried. Like I legit cried. I was so happy.
Is there footage of this?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was.
No, I mean, is there footage of you crying?
It's fine. Okay. All right. Here, let me turn off my camera.
Reenact dramatization.
You can't say Ryan or Tannehill. It's super triggering. Okay. All right.
No, but that must have been amazing, dude. Like, so how was that? Like, tell me about that. It's now a counseling session, by the way.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think about fond Titans memories. I remember crying in the car as my dad pulled into to my grandparents' house, and it was a Music City Miracle, and there was 13 seconds left, and I was sobbing. I was so upset. My dad goes, he's like, "Oh, Sam, sometimes you just come up short. It's okay," or whatever. And then all we heard was, "He's got something. He's got something," and we cranked it back up. And he's like, "And sometimes that happens." That's one of my first big memories about that. But we just always in Tennessee wanted a team. That's just what it came down to. And we were kind of this sleepy little Nashville city. And then the Titans came to town sporadically. Mm-hmm. And we all of a sudden it was like, okay, we're doing football now. Cool. And it's kind of grown and taken on a whole form of its own. But when she got me the tickets in 2013, by the way, it was one of the worst years we've ever had.
I was gonna say I don't recall that one being.
It was Ken Wisenhut's first year, I think.
Got my clearance.
And we were atrocious. I mean, we were so bad. Zach Mettenberger was playing quarterback.
That's when JJ Watt sacked him.
The snap thing. Yeah. And then I was happy. By the way, I was happy to retweet him and go, "Hey, by the way, these are all the selfies you've taken on Twitter." And it was just a giant. We all the Titans fans hey, let's not mock people for selfing, okay? But yeah, I was feeling cheeky and also loads amount of
Chris Johnson still. Y'all had Chris Johnson.
Oh yeah, Jake Lawson, right? Chris Johnson, they were all there. They were all there.
That was just Pollard, I think. We had not Pollard.
I think Pollard was at the end of the Munchak era.
Okay. That was I remember we had him and then y'all had him.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I was in a total drunk blackout from 2010 to 2015 because it was so bad. But it was horrible. And then I was like, "Are you going to re-up next year?" I'm like, "Of course I'm going to re-up next year." Yeah. But I think that's what diehard fans are all about. Right? I sat through the bad times. You didn't sit in this seat until they started winning. I was here before you. So this is for me. This is for me.
That's
you
a
can
reward.
Them.
It's right. Reward.
And I will strongly caution everybody. I'm sure you guys went through this. You guys had those teams where you had Kubiak and Matt Schaub. And when you guys had Andre Johnson and Matt Schaub did those long ass bootlegs in the back, and they would throw that deep ball, and it was just beautiful.
It was.
And you have to, and I think NFL fans especially, you don't know it at the time, but you really need to enjoy the ride while it lasts.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the downtimes are coming, and sometimes they come in the middle of a season when you're heading the division, then you lose 4 games straight. So you really have to enjoy the process. And I'll be honest with you. I get emotional sometimes. I'm a logical guy. I try to keep football and your fandom kind of separate as much as you can when talking about them. Yeah. But the fact that you're looking at kind of the end of the era, right? The Tannehill run, 3 years, the Derrick Henry, you really thought it was going to happen, and it did. And then I broke my own rule. I was like, I didn't enjoy the ride. Now I'm even more upset because I didn't enjoy the ride. So I would strongly urge anybody to enjoy the ride when your team is good, because boy, it can end quick, and next thing you know, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win the division.
Again, isn't that weird? Like,
it's so odd. They just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what happened.
It's funny because I had you guys up. I had you guys like winning the division. Like when we first started this season, like I was like, oh, Titans are going to take it. Like
our last win was against Green Bay. We were 7-3.
Yeah.
And just like that, you're 7-7.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
without any pause or anything about it. It's just going to be weird, right? Like, it's just going to be weird to see the Jags like division leaders. You're like, ugh. And I know. All right, listen. If you're a Titans fan and you're watching this, I know the season's not over yet. I know. But you can't tell me it doesn't look bleak.
Hey, Lawrence,
you know what?
Man, it's a
slog. It's a slog. But our game up this weekend, we'll see where we stand. We'll get to see Malik Willis. I think this is just going to be served more as is this kid going to be an answer for something in the future,
right,
or is he just going to be kind of, he is what he is at this point?
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting. I guess still your quarterback is starting, right?
Yeah, it's like I'm sure they're going to run the switch again, where it's like there's going to be a time when it's Davis Mills, and there's going to be a time when it's Jeff Driscoll.
Okay.
And they're just going to run it, and it's going to be predictable. Like you can only do that for so long,
Oh yeah, no, it's yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I'm very painfully aware.
Yeah. But nonetheless, it's gonna be what it's going to be, and that's all you can take from it.
I think it's gonna be a field goal fest. I think it's gonna be like one of those low scoring, ugly games where it's like 12 to like.
Oh yeah, are you in field goal range? I don't know. Let's find out and kick it.
Yeah, right.
It's one of those games with y'all's injuries and with our injuries and our terrible quarterback. Yeah, it's gonna be a field goal fest.
I will say this. I think let's do some score predictions before we start heading out. I honestly think I'm gonna. I want to. I've always the last few games I've said, oh, it's gonna be a blowout, but it's been surprisingly close. So in this case, because of the fact that you guys are missing like your entire O-line almost. I mean,
how'd you know that?
Yeah, I mean, I have a source. Google. So I have a guy, No, and so I'm thinking. I think I'm gonna take the win on this one.
Good.
Look at you, optimist.
I honestly think
take the win. Just because for that reason, I think we can get to Malik. I think we can get
honestly think that you should feel good about that. I mean, I think Kevin Byard said it after the Chargers game. He goes, "This team can't beat anybody right now. They just can't. They haven't proved that they can, and that stinks." But hold on. Let's see. I'm going to say Titans 20, Texans 17.
All right.
There you go.
Real.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm going to go Titans 12, Texans 9. It's going to be
God. Yeah. You know what? It is 5 degrees. That's probably more about what it's going to be like.
I'm going to go a lot of throwing. It's going to be a lot of running the ball and kicking field goals. And
somebody's going to say it like
probably a low-scoring game. I would say low-scoring game, right? So.
Oh yeah, totally a low-scoring game. Somebody you watch, Mike Keith, our play-by-play announcer, is going to go, and on the leg of Randy Bullock, the Titans win 12-9. And I'm going to be like, yes, the glorious leg of Randy Bullock.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now, we had Randy Bullock. We know what he's about.
Oh, I know what he's about. He's about not kicking it and making it from the 50s. What he's about.
We know all about Randy.
That was his nickname here in Houston, Fat Nick.
Yeah, no, we all call him Fat Randy. I feel kind of bad for him because everybody's like, Fat Randy in the stadium when he comes out. I'm like, oh my God.
He's like Loki crying.
Oh, yeah.
It continues. That's the name.
I feel bad for him because you kind of look out and he's kind of going, it's almost like his shoulders are shrugging. He's like,
into a shaving show
you're a professional athlete. You have Texas is the best trainers in the world.
Right. Well, I mean, look at the Look at the Chargers game. It was, I don't know if it was 40 something. He still missed it. He just drives me freaking nuts. I hate the way he kicks because the ball kind of just angles.
We know.
I like to go. Oh yeah, it's just kind of sideways. I like to go when it goes by.
He's asking Matt which way the ball should go.
Right, but you can watch. You can watch if you're in the tight stadium. You can watch him kick, and you see everybody's head in the stadium do this.
Right.
It was the same here in Houston. I'm like, oh, please.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I know. I would like a new kicker and an O lineman. I'm very greedy.
You're asking for too much, sir. No. All right, man. Well, we gotta end it now. But honestly, dude, thank you for coming on the show. Like, we appreciate you every time you're here.
Happy to be here. We'll do a recap. If you want to do a recap, I'm down. Whatever y'all need.
Yeah.
We'll do. We should do. We should be able to do a recap. But nonetheless, if we're not able to, you can still join us. I mean, it's going to be Christmas Day, but I don't want to. It's going to be.
Happy holidays, guys! Yeah. Happy holidays.
Exactly. So we're going to be for sure on.
La 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 la.
Happy Hanukkah or every other holiday that's out there right now.
There you go.
No, I'll be Christmas like my family yelling at me. I'm like, shut up. Talking to my friends. Shut up.
Talking football.
I'm in the bathroom. People are knocking. Shut up.
Game's almost over. Leave me alone.
Yeah. There's two other bathrooms in the house.
Remember not to leave the toilet paper on the floor.
So that's right. Yeah, they don't like that. They don't like that.
Good luck. No, but no, nonetheless, if anything, we're gonna be on. Rios and I are gonna be on the Twitter Spaces at 9 a.m. 10 a.m. Eastern.
9 a.m.
I was right. 9 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, and 7 a.m. Pacific. What?
Okay.
So
everyone's Christmas present.
It's gonna be everybody's holiday present. It's gonna be bad.
I'm gonna come in with like intro music and everything. It's just gonna be like over the top.
It's gonna be a karaoke show, but that's gonna be through Wager Wire. It's gonna be through Wager Wire. Our friends at Wager Wire, we're gonna do the spaces for them. So we'll talk basically the recap of what happened, what we saw, and to see if some of our predictions were correct or not. But nonetheless, follow us on Twitter at JustFans22. And of course, on that tickety talk at Just
Stop saying that.
No, never.
He said tickety talk, and I automatically flinched. I was
right. At Just Fans 2022. And Mr. First Down, tell everybody where we can find you.
Mr. First Down is on Twitter at Mr. First Down. He is on Facebook at Samuel Oliver Dean. He is still working to do a recap, but he's really sad about it. And
find him on his MySpace page too.
Yeah, my MySpace. It's got my playlist on it.
Where is number? We're like a third friend.
I don't even know my MySpace. I can't even remember. I'm like, what happened?
Exactly. All right.
Yeah.
And,
thank you.
And again,
thank y'all.
Also, thanks to you, dude. Honestly, thank you for coming on. We were supposed to shoot yesterday along with Debbie. Mm-hmm. And for reasons, beyond anybody's control, we had to reschedule, and I'm really thankful for you guys for being able to be so flexible with that schedule, because it was like last minute. So I'm not going to say what it was, but all I got to say is this episode's for Mike. And
absolutely.
So
absolutely
for everything. So this episode's for Mike.
Prayers up for that. That's rough.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys again. We'll hope to see you guys on Sunday for sure. Oh God, put that down. Are you crying?
No.
These are tears of joy. No,
Jack Daniel's tears.
Like Daniel's tears, they burn. No. All right. Well,
I'm gonna message you later. We're gonna talk. It's gonna be about our feelings.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Take care. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Peace.